Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will continue our series of Tkinter Python projects. In this video I have used a topic as Employee Payroll System. It is a beginner friendly project, so it is will be going to easy for the beginners. So for that, looking how it was worked and how its imports are done, let's see how it was been defined as. We have defined the SQLite as in a database. Then we have taken the Tkinter main parts, all of that, and its TTK module for the tree view of the data frame, and then message box for messages, and then simple dialog box for like alerts, like what you want to do it, do you want to do it or not, okay, like that. So if we go to our next part, which is the database, how we had defined it, okay. For that we have created the first variable as connector is equal to SQLite.connect as payroll db. If it doesn't exist in that directory, it will automatically create it as it is in a Python feature. Then we had defined the cursor is equal to connector dot cursor for the cursor event, and then we have executed command of the SQL as the connector execute, and then we have create write an SQL command as create table if not exist payroll, and then its main entry as like employee name will be required, ID of them as in a primary key and not to be letting as in a not null format, and then position of them, then salary, then payment status, and then pay date of them, okay. So then we have defined its main feature, which will going to work on how it will going to all of the process and functionality of that GUI that we will going to create going to work on it. So for the first helper we have our function, we have created an ask pay date as in it will going to uh, give an a prompt for a payday. When marking paid, it will going to ask the as in a date, pay date of that particular transaction, like I have given it in a platform like that for the user for understanding. And if the user doesn't give anything in the date, then it will going to give an no else as not applicable, like you can see as n/a, okay. And then for the displaying all of the records in the tree view format, I have used the tree Tkinter tree.delete bracket as tree.get child, and it will going to get all of the child, and then we will going to, okay, I have written the tree.delete for the like in the, okay, like review and other parts it will going to happen like changing. We have selected particular type of data set for the search, then it will going to delete all of that showing part, then again it will going to fetch all of the data from the database, like you can see in the SQL query and in the for loop you can see right here, okay. And then we have insert them in the tree format by their values as rows, okay. And then we have added a clear fields part for the form that we will going to add, as it was the basically the beginner friendly project, so I have only add the employee name, ID and position and salary and payment status and pay date and employer ID entry as that, okay. if as if you want to make it a little advanced, then you can go for the attendance, tax payments, and so much like other stuff that you can include in it, okay. Then we have going to write in a tree and accept, try and accept, then it will going to remove all of the selection if we have done it for the update part, it will going to remove its selection from that particular platform, and if anything nothing had been selected, then it will going to pass it out. Okay, and for the clear and display part, I have function I have defined only inside the two function which will going to run. How it will going to work, like first it will going to clear fields, and then again it will going to display the records. Okay, then for the validate imports part, which requires the unique id as true, I have defined it so that no another id will be came there. Okay, so we have defined its condition as if not employer name gets in the strip format, like in the tuple it will going to take out, and then if the employee name is not there, then it will going to show the message box. So added library format as like you can see missing comma employee name is required, and then also for the email id similar way, and then for the position also. Okay, and then we will go to our next part of it, as in it we will going to get it all of the salary in the float format as the get, and if salary is less than 0, then it will going to rise an error as this is invalid number. So then if it has been rise then a value error, then it will going to show the error as this from the message box as from the show error library, and then give it in a message that you can see right here. Invalid salary must be negative non-negative number. Okay, and then it will going to retain its value, and if everything he or she has done correctly, then it will going to the select one of that from the payroll, and then it will going to execute that command. Okay, of that selecting that person, and it will going to fetch that from the cursor event that we have defined one of them, or if any duplicate id one people was there, then it will going to show the error that you can see right here, duplicate id as this employee id already exists. Okay, then for that, if you guys enjoying the all of the part, like how these I have been showing you beginner friendly and how you can use it, then you can check out my other playlist, like in the html css I have been making lot of button animation for the html css uses, and then in the python like this you can see right here, like from the CRUD action has been derived from the web dev parts that I had been learned, and I had known so many languages. Like for that part I will going to give the all of the description at the end of the video, so let's not ruin that part. Okay, so payment status as get if soon as the paid, and then it will going to mark ask his pay date. If doesn't give one from the user, then any that you can see right here will be set out, and then it will be going to as ask the user that confirm add, because if we will going to add that record to the payroll part, then employee id cannot be changed later, as we have to delete the full data of it for doing that. Okay, that part, then we will going to execute an if all of these conditions had been fulfilled, then we will going to run in a try and except method, which will going to run on the as connected dot execute. It will going to run at an xql command insert into payroll, and then it will going to insert all of the variables that I have defined from the code into the database, and then like you can see all of the data frames that had been there, and all of the values have been set it out like that. And once it has been committed, then we will going to run again the function as clear and display, and then it will going to show an success message as added employee record successfully. And if anything happens like duplicated, then it will going to show this error. Okay, then for the viewing the record, we have defined the as it will going to focus on a particular, if you or user want to check out on a particular list, then he or she can select it out for his or herself, and then it will going to tree focus it on that part if or and then it will going to fetch take all of its values. Okay, which will going to show all of the data of that particular part. If it has been doesn't right there selected like in the update or any way has been needed right there, then it will going to show it. Okay, like you can similar way see the update format has this similar error handling format for the row selection part, and then it will going to view the record of the particular part as it has been selected for that, and it will going to take its entry and configure it to the disable, and then its clear button also will be button which will going to clear all the fields at the time as in a disable. Then we will going to add another function which will going to check out if not all of the valid inputs are okay, not okay, then it will going to run as okay. Then we will going to run a payment status. It will going to get all of like it whatever its data, and then if has been given in a data like as it has been used for the update, then it's going to ask whether you want to change it or not. If doesn't, then again it NA will be appear, and then we going to execute an SQL command as like that connector dot execute, and then we will write an update payroll set employee name, position, salary, payment status, and pay date where employer ID has been set it, and then it's all of the values will be taken from that the variables that we have defined in that code in our code. Okay, and then it will going to commit it, and then we will going to clear and display function will be run, and all of its data will be shown right there, and it was done, and added part button part will be destroyed on the spot, and so the correct the success message. Okay, and for the preventing the duplication part of the edit button, I have defined like that. Okay, then for the removing the particular record, I have given in a similar like update and view record has the error handling for the selecting record, and then it will going to focus and take its all of the value employee ID as from the one part, and then it will going we will going to add an if condition as asked by the ask yes and no from the conform delete, and in the f string I have defined the delete employee with ID as this, and if the user yes it out, then it will going to execute the SQL query as delete from payroll table, then where of that ID employee ID, and then it will going to run commit it out, and then we're going to delete that item from the tree format, and then clear and display will be again run, and its success message will be sold out. And Similar way, we have defined the delete dot function. It will going to ask confirm delete all pay records. This cannot be undone, like that. And then if user agreed on that, as by saying the yes, I want it, then it will going to execute all of its command like I have defined it. And for the changing the payment status, I have defined it like that you can see. Please select an employee data similar way like before. And then if it was the paid, then it will be, let's say, to mark the employee, mark this employee as in unpaid or whatever way, like you can see right here. Okay, and similar way for the paid. Okay, so that's for the helpers or functions part that will going to run the app or the GUI that we have will seeing in the future demonstration part. Okay, and for that we will going to see how we have defined its all of the colors that you can see right here. I have defined for the left frame as the little orchid color, and then right top frame as green, and right bottom frame as shiny blue, then bottom like button as yellow, and then title as orange for that. And we have defined its font, and then we'll going to go to our main part as how we will going to execute that. We have defined the tk root of root is equal to tk, then giving it a title and giving it a geometry as 0 1880 and into 62 620, and then we have given it a resizable format, and then we given it the label as with the heading as this that you can see right here with the font as Norton San C GK and TC. And then we have given its the BG color of the title that we have selected, and then font font color as black, and then we have packet on the side top and relax. And its variables that you can see right here, I have defined employee name, employee ID as string variables, and given its in a values as in a p register way. And for the frames that I have given them as left frame, right top frame, and then right bottom frame. That I have first left frame display at the with, with their root and main part as root, and then its BG colors, and position them as x equal to y, x equal to 0, y is equal to 30, and then real width as 0.32 and real height as 0.96. And similar way like that you can check out the right top frame and right bottom frames. Okay, and then we have go to our main left frame part, which will going to handle the form of it. Okay, how user will going to enter the records. Okay, so for that I have defined the label and entry as in the label and entry I have defined in the first in that way. Okay, and then in the left I have selected the left frame, then I have given the text as employee name, and then its BG color, and then its font color, and then I have placed it on the x equal to 80 and y is equal to 20, and then next to the width as 27 right here, and then font as entry font, and then task variable that of its as it was the employee name, then we have taken the variable that we have defined as the employee name right here. Okay, and then we have defined it on the that x and y coordinates. Okay, and similar way I define the employee ID, positions, and salary and payment status, and so much more. Like you can say payment status, pay date, and add records, pay dates, and record. Okay, like that. Add pay date, and then like you can check out all of its coordinates if you want it out like that, as I have defined them in the similar way and similar format. So there is nothing need to be tell right about them, just you can copy them out. Okay, and if you want to change any color theme, then you can do it on your own, as it has been on your own purpose. And then we have go to our buttons part, as added below all of the font form that we have created, it will have an add record button with the text as add new record, then its button font, and then its bg color as button HLB BG, and then width as 20, and then command of it as that we have defined the above in the helpers part as the add record, and then place it at the x equal to 50 and y as 460, and then clear button, we have defined the clear button as the button with the text at the left frame as the text as clear fields, and then font of them at the similar way, and with the command has been changed like clear fields, and then it will be placed right here after the 40y axis y coordinates of that particular button. Okay, and then we will go into our next part, which is the right of frame buttons. Okay, that we have defined right there. As normal way, we have defined its button, it given it's the text as given all of the text as the text as delete record, delete all, update details, and toggle paid and unpaid for the checking the changing the status of them, whether we want that paid or unpaid. Width width we have defined width as that, and its significant command as command functions as remove record and delete all, and then update record and change payment status, and define it them on their places as x equal to 10 and y is equal to 10, and then delete all at the x equal to 190, and then y is equal to 30, and then update details at x equal to 370 and y is equal to 30, and then place them x equal to 550 and then y at 30, and then at last I have gone to our last part, which is the right frame bottom part. Okay, which is the tabular way of how we have defined that. For that I have given them in a title, like I have given the first of at the starting of the title as employee payroll system. Right here I have defined the payroll records title for the main reviews of that, and then we have defined all of its columns as employee name, employee ID, and position and salary and payment date of that, and then we have defined all of its the tree view in the TDK module and in the tree view, and then in the right bottom frame, and we have selected it mode as browse and column, and so their headings, and then we have defined its all x and y scroll bar as like that horizontal and vertical way, and then we have configured them in the xscroll command as xscroll dot set, and similar way y scroll command for it for the y scroll, and then we have packed them like x will be back at the side bottom at the by filling the x-axis, and then y scroll will be at the right side and it will going to fill the y axis of that. And for the defining all of the data right there, I have defined them as in the for loop as C in columns, and it will going to take all of its id and y's, and it will going to give all of its data right there in the columns as that you can see right here. Okay, and then it will going to pack and fill them by the both side, expand them by true, and pad x and pad y will be 5. And then we have booted all of, we have defined again the clear and display function as on the start of booting the app, and then it will going to run the main route part. So that's for the code. So let's go to our next demonstration part. Okay, so guys, we have came to our demonstration part. As it you can see right here, I have already created a data, as we have defined its name as Unsu, and then employee ID as 1, CA position, and then payment status and salary and pay date of that, for example. Okay, so I have already selected it is for the update details. Yet you can see right here I have as said it will going to disable the employee IDs and clear fields button right here you can see, and it has defined another button that you can see right here. So as I had been wanted to change its data to unpaid, okay, so I have set it to the unpaid part, and I will going to confirm it, or and then it has given the message and that you can see right here. Okay, or if you want to change this to paid version, that then you can go to the paid, and then we will going to update it out, and it will going to ask the date. As I have doesn't do the display capture way, then it will going to know, so I will going to only add the record, and then you will see that it has been showing all of the data right here. Okay, then if you guys want to add the data as something name as, we will going to take imaginary name as Gox, and then id as 2, and then position like manager or something I less achievement of, and then his or her salary as like that, and we have defined it as an unpaid, and then it will going to, we will going to add that, and it has been asking me the message for it, and then it has been added with a successful message right here you can see it out, and yes, you can see it like that. Okay, if I want to delete that particular record or change that, then I want to like change it to the its status, like I want to pay, I had paid it, and then I want to change all of it, then I will going to write the something like 2030, then 2008 and 01, and I have given it, and it has been showing the result right here you can see it out. For delete, I can just simply delete it out right this, and it has been delete the particular record. Okay, and for that, checking how the clear function clear fields are working, I will going to just click it out, and it will going to clear all of the parts. Okay, and give it a, and let's me add in another, literally another part as something, for example writing like position as something like that, salary like that, and I will going to add it out. Okay, and then we will going to test whether delete all features will going to work or not. And let me click it out. It has shown the message as the confirm delete all payroll record, this cannot be done, undone. So I will going to click on the yes, and boom, you can see all of its data has been removed. So that's it for today, guys. If you guys enjoy this tutorial of a Python GUI, then you can like and subscribe to my channel and view other videos. See ya, bye bye.